Hi, this is Sweet June. Have hope. This is Sunday, May the 24th, 2020. Hoping everybody is having a blessed Sunday. It's a beautiful day up here in Michigan. It's about 80 degrees. It's about time. The flowers are starting to bloom. The leaves are starting to come in on the trees. I'm happier, in a better mood, and I'm probably going to be less achy. So right now, at this point, got to get the yard together. The yard is a mess. So we got to get our yard. This is the time we got to get our yard tightened up and everything. Um, I wanted to do this video on the porch, but my son decided that last year, he decided it was a good idea to put my table on the curve, to throw my table out. So he threw my table out. So I got to get a new table for the porch so I would have loved to have done this video on the porch, but I don't have a table now, so I have to get another table. I tell you, kids, can't live with them, can't live without them. um, I, I, um, I wasn't gonna address this because, like I said, I'm not big on doing, as you guys know, I'm not big on doing reaction videos. I'm not big on the reaction video thing. It's not really what I'm on here for. But every now and then, and when I do a reaction video, I'm gonna be offering. I try to offer some good advice and constructive criticism. I'm not gonna come on here and badmouth or bash anybody, because that's not what I'm about on here. And God is watching, and I'm not about that. That's not gonna do anybody any good. You know, it's not gonna do anybody. It's not gonna benefit anybody. It's not gonna do anybody any good. And at the end of the day, it's judgment, and nobody has the right to judge anybody. So to me, that's just useless. You know, um, I'm not on here to. I don't. I'm not about coming on here just putting anything out there just to get views and make a whole lot of money, because all money ain't good money. All money, at the end of the day, all money is not good money. And when I do start making money on here, I want it to be good money. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I want it to be good money, and I want it to also be a blessing to people. You guys, if you guys watch, any of you watch my channel on a consistent basis, you know how I am. You know, um, I'm not about all that messiness. I'm not a messy person. I'm trying to serve God, so I have to be careful what I do. So, you know, Jehovah God and Jesus is watching. So, and even if they wasn't, I'm not about that. Plain and simple. But I want to address the situation with um, Strongmommy Crissy. As they say, the YouTube streets. Um, but I'm not going by what the YouTube streets say, because it's gossip. Not necessarily going by what as they call the YouTube streets. Not necessarily going by that. But I'm going by mainly the video that she came on last night. She came on the live stream yesterday, and she did confirm some things, because they were saying that this guy was going around leaking her address. Some guy that she got involved with was leaking her address and saying all kind of stuff about her. Not going to go into everything they said he was saying. She did come on a live stream yesterday, and it did in fact confirm that the guy was she knew the guy, and he said some stuff about her and she didn't understand why. So she did confirm that. So I'm gonna base my opinion and my advice and my words of encouragement to her based on what she based the little bit of information that she did share. So she did confirm, you know. So I'm going mainly by her confirmation. I'm not going by any idle gossip that's out here on the YouTube streets, as they call it. Um, Now, I love the mommies. They call themselves the Mamiana gang. I think that's cute. I love the mommies. As you guys, if you guys, any of you guys have watched my quite a bit of my content in the past, I've always said time and time again that I'm team mom. I'm team mom, and I was a single mother myself for many many years, and I support the single mothers. I don't place judgment on them because I'm the last person in the world that should be judging somebody. And I support. I know. I realize the difficulties of being a single mother, and I realize a lot of the challenges of being a single mom. And I realize it's very difficult being a single mother. I've done numerous videos on here talking about single motherhood. If you're new to my channel, go through my channel. I got quite a few videos, and I got quite a few topics of talking about single motherhood because I spent many years being a single mom. So I support a lot. I support the single mom. I'm team mom. I support the single moms. I realize how rough it is and everything like that. I'm subscribed to over 800 people on here. And Strongmommy Crissy is one of the ones I consistently watch all the time. And so I have a little bit of a vested interest in her and the other moms. And I love the single moms. I love Strongmommy Crissy. Let's get that established right off the bat. I love Jazzy, Liv, Ming. I love all the single moms out there. I love them all. And I want nothing but the best for them. These ladies are young enough to be my daughters. My son he'll be 31 in October. So these ladies are around my oldest son's age. I'm showing my age here. But these ladies are around my oldest son's age. So these young ladies are young enough to be my daughter. They could be my daughters. So if I had a daughter, which I didn't have a daughter, um, what I'm saying is nothing no different than what I would say to my daughter if I had a daughter. If I had a daughter that was around that age, what I'm saying, what I'm about to say, I would be saying the same thing to her. I'd be running all that down to her, you know. So I'll be saying basically the same thing, you know. So consider this some motherly advice, Consider some motherly advice from an older woman that has been there and done that. That's how you look at it. And so that's I'm not coming from a place of judgment because I'm the last person in the world that should be judging. I got my skeletons in my closet. Now I ain't some people got cemeteries. I ain't got no cemeteries now. Some people got cemeteries in that closet. Now I ain't got no cemeteries. But I got some skeletons in the closet. But it ain't no cemetery. Anyway, with that being said, I'm rambling a little bit. Anyway, with that being said, um, I will say this first of all, Mommy Crissy, I realize that you you're a single mother. You just got not too long ago got a divorce. I don't know what it's like to be married. I've never been married, so I can't really speak on that. But I know what it's like to be a single mom and be lonely and want some companionship. And you desire that companionship. There's the part of you that wants to get married, and you want a good husband for you, and you want somebody that will be a good father figure. Trust me, I went through all that. I went through all those emotions. I understand, and I get it. I get it. And you lonely, I understand that. I understand all that. Everything, all the feelings and emotions that you going through as a single mother. I done been there, done that. Okay, when I was in the world. And I get that. And I understand that you're lonely. You want that companionship when you're a single mother. You want that companionship, and you need it at the end of the day. However, you have to realize, I'm trying to cover everything I want to talk about and not make this video too long. You have to realize that, first of all, when we are single mothers, we got every decision that we make, we have to factor our children into those decisions. And the first thing that you have to think about is your children. You have to think about your children, because I kind of made a mistake of bringing. I'm not gonna lie. Just because I'm a witness and I'm trying to serve God now. I wasn't always. I was in the world at one time, and so I went through a process of, I made the mistake in bringing guys. Now I wasn't out there like that, but I brought some people around my sons that probably shouldn't have been around my son, until I made the decision to start serving God, turn my life over to Him, and shut it down. I closed down shop altogether. And I think I was in my mid 30s when I did that. I think I was in my mid 30s when I shut down the shop altogether. And so when we're single mothers, every decision that we make, we have to factor our children into those decisions. And you have to do you have to think about your children first, and you have to do what is in the best interest of your children. And it coming from one single mother to another that's been there and done that, it is not a good idea to bring men around your children. And you say, well, she said her bedroom is downstairs and the children's room is upstairs, and she figured, uh, they're upstairs asleep, and I get all that. I did that too. I snuck, I did that. Wait till the kids go to sleep. Trust me, I know the game. I know the game. Been there and done that. But still, it is still the video what she did when she was cooking the gumbo. The guy was there, so the children was somewhat exposed to this guy, and she had only knew the guy for 30 days. And if you guys look at some of my other content, I've talked about um, um, getting to know someone. You will learn everything you need to know about somebody, but you got to give it time. You have to give it time. 30 days is not long enough to get to know anyone, enough to know what they all about. And so it's just not that long. Even if you talk to them every day, it's just not that long. You don't really know the person that well. And she's a YouTuber. You got to be careful, babe. You're a YouTuber. You didn't really want your address leaked out there. This guy is now leaking your address. And she said she didn't tell the guy that she was a YouTuber, but people have ways of finding things out. They had ways of finding things out, and he probably found out that she was a YouTuber because she's pretty popular on here. She's got two channels. She's got over 100K subscribers on the one channel, 55K on I think the other one, the cooking channel. So she's pretty, and then there's a lot of people that do reaction videos on her. So she's pretty. She's up and coming on YouTube. I mean, she's kind of blowing up a little bit on here. So I mean, I'm sure he found out, that she was strong mommy Crissy, even if she didn't tell him. But I'm gonna say this. I'm trying not to make this video too long, but I'm gonna say this, lady. You have to be careful who you are exposing your children to. You got to be careful. As I always have stated in other videos, I'm always gonna recommend abstaining until you get married, abstaining from sex until you get married. I'm always gonna recommend that, you know. But um, everybody ain't on the same path, spiritual path, or whatever. I'm always going to say that first and foremost. But you got to be, if you're going to get involved, you have to be careful with online dating. I did online dating before. I did a whole video talking about my online dating experience. If you guys want to go back and check it out, I did a whole video talking about my online dating experience. But I always met the guys in a public place. I met them in a public place. I didn't bring them home. I did bring one guy. I was talking to this guy 6 months though before I brought him around my kids. I was talking to him for 6 months before I brought him around my kids, and he was a nice guy. He just wasn't the right guy for me. But when you're dating online, lady, you got to be careful. You have to be careful because you got guys out here that's killers, rapists. He could have came in and did something to your kids. He could have did something to you. I mean, you got to be careful. And 30 days is just not long enough. It's not long enough to really get to know anybody that you're particularly meeting offline. And I don't trust half these dating sites out there anyway. And a lot of guys, realistically, and I did a whole video. Check it out. If you're new to my channel, go back and check out the realities of the harsh realities of single motherhood. That's the title of the video. The harsh realities of single motherhood. Go back and check that video out, where I'm talking about the harsh realities of single motherhood. A lot of times when particularly us black women, when we have children, particularly if there's more than one father, it's going to be hard to get somebody in there that's going to wife you, be a father figure to your kids. It's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very hard for you. Our marital rates as black women, our marital rates are very low. Realistically, I had two, and I didn't find a marriage mate. And I prayed and prayed and prayed, but everything happens or don't happen for a reason. A lot of times, 9 times out of 10, most men going are not looking to come in and take on another man's children. See, men nowadays ain't like what they used to be. Men are not like what they used to be. It used to be back in the day, it was a sense of pride. Men had a sense of pride of they actually it was a sense of pride, and it made them feel like a man to actually take on and take care of someone else's children. Believe it or not, it was a totally different mentality back in the olden days. But men are not like they used to be. They're not like they used to be. They don't think like that no more. Their thinking is different from ours. We're thinking in terms of, oh, well, I'm wanted someone to come in and be a husband to me, a good father figure to my children, because that was my mindset when I was raising my kids. But these men have another agenda. They have another agenda, and 9 times out of 10, they just want to get in and get what they want and be on their merry little way. And some of them, they're not for the right things. Some of them might trying to use you, take your money, or trying to harm your children. And you have even boys. Boys can get molested too. But you have daughters, lady. You have daughters. And when you have daughters, you have to be really careful who you are bringing around your daughters. First of all, they're looking at you, and they're saying, we have to lead, as mothers, we have to lead by example. And you have to be careful who you're bringing around your daughters, because you have a lot of pedophiles out here. You have a lot of pedophiles out here. They're out here looking to mess around with young girls, whatever. You have to be careful. You got one that's a preteen there. You have to be really careful, lady, who you getting involved with, and particularly if you're meeting them offline. I get it that you're lonely. I get it. I've been there. I've experienced those emotions. You're lonely. You want some companionship. You want somebody to help you with the children, be a father figure to the children. I get it. But the reality is, it's going to be very difficult for you to get that. It's going to be very. It would take a real special man. It would take a special. It would take a special kind of man to come in there and to be a great husband to you and a good father figure to your children. I mean, that man has got to be. He would have to be exceptional. It literally would have to be an exceptional man, because 9 times out of 10, it's going to be very difficult for you to find that, babe. It's going to be very difficult for you to find that. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. You know, you may not meet him until the children are grown, but it's going to be very difficult for you to get somebody in there. 9 times out of 10, when a man see a woman with children by more than one father, they're out looking for one thing. And they just want to get in and get what they got and be on their merry little way. And sometimes they want to use you for money. Now, I'm gonna give you credit where credit is due. I know you're probably smarter than that. But you got to be careful, lady. You have to be careful, particularly if you're meeting them online. I've had some experiences with online dating, and so a lot of the guys I was talking to on the phone, and I could tell just by the way their conversation was going, they wasn't right. I could tell by the way the conversation was going and the way they was talking, someone right with them. And one guy, I met him face to face. I met him in the Target parking lot, and I just didn't like what I said. And he was saying some other things. He was unemployed, and he was saying some other things that I was like, mm. And so he was upset with me after that. I didn't care because, you know, so you really have to use discernment. When you're meeting these guys online, you really got to use discernment. You got to pray about it. And you can't, I would not recommend bringing anyone around your children. And I get it, they're sleeping or whatever the situation is, but I wouldn't recommend. It is not good. It is not good for children to see men coming to your house. It is not good. It is not good to expose them to that. It is not good for them to be around your children unless it's somebody that you have been dating a long time and you really had a chance to really, really get to know them over a period of time. If you had a chance to really get to know them over a period of time and you've been dating them for a while and you're feeling like it's a sure thing, okay, then at that point it's time you can introduce them to your children. But just knowing somebody a month is not long enough, babe. It's not long enough. You know, you have to do what is best for your children. If you absolutely have to, if you have the need to hook up with somebody, make arrangements, make child care arrangements, and meet the guy. And even that's risky. That's even risky because if you haven't known them that long and you meeting them at some hotel or whatever, even that's risky because he could be a killer or anything. When you're doing the online dating, you have to be really careful. It's a lot of horror stories out there of women meeting guys online and the guy raped them or he killed them, and it's a lot of horror stories out there. And you know, Mommy Crissy, if something happened to you and them babies, girl, I would be devastated. I love you and those babies, and I don't want to see anything bad happen to you or them babies. And not just because I like to watch you on YouTube, you know, but I really, really would not want to see nothing bad happen to you. So I'm coming to you, just giving you some motherly advice, you know, from an older woman that was a single mom, been there, done that. You got to be careful, lady. Even with guys, there was guys that I knew that that I had been knowing for years that I, was in detrimental situations with, but I follow my instincts. So even guys, you got to be careful because sometimes they try to use you too. Babe, baby girl, don't let them use you. Don't let them use you. You got to know your worth. You have to know your worth, Strongmommy Crissy. You need to know your worth. When I found out my worth, when I realized my worth, oh man, it was worth its weight in gold. I drew closer to God. I started serving God, and I started abstaining, and I decided to close up shop altogether. Oh man, and I started learning my worth. Oh girl, once you start learning your worth, man, it is worth its weight in gold. You have peace. It gives you it gives you a peace of mind. I got peace of mind. It overrides the loneliness after a while. It really does. Trust me. Trust me. Believe me what I'm saying. But you gotta know your worth. You gotta know that you're worth more than some guy just coming in getting what he can get and going on about his business. And we make excuses and we say, well, I got needs and I just want to have a good time. I said the same things. Reason why I know that is because I said the same things. I said the same things. Oh, I'm just out having a good time, You know, I'm not looking for nothing serious anyway. Those are the excuses that we make. But we do these things. We do these things out of loneliness. I say we because I did it too. It's out of loneliness because you're lonely. That's not what you really want. That's not what you're really looking for. You want love. You want companionship. You want someone that's going to be a father figure to your kids. That's what you really want. But you're settling for right now. She used the term ATM. She said it wasn't about money. It's available. I don't know. I can't keep up with these young folks saying. I can't keep up with what these young folks be saying. I can't keep up with. She said it meant something else. Whatever. But this is what when we don't know our worth as women, this is what we settle for. That's what I'm trying to say. This is what we settle for. Mr. Right Now, okay? When we don't know our worth, that's what we settle for. And under the guise of, well, I got needs and I'm out having a good time and you think everything is everything. But then at the end of the day, you still lonely, you still hurting, you still crying, all those things. You going through all those things. Because at the end of the day, you're outside of the will of God. And when we're operating outside of the will of God, we're not going to be happy. See, I'm still single. I'm still single. But I know my worth. I learned my worth. And I know what I deserve. You know what I mean? And and when I think about when I go to thinking about all these different types of men out here that up to no good, I have a peace of mind knowing that I have enough self respect and enough self worth to say, get on back. And you have to be comfortable with yourself. You have to enjoy your own company. You have to get to a place to where you enjoy your own company. And you have to, you know, this is the time, take the time to raise your children. Take the time to get them up, teach them. And you're a good mom, Strongmommy, Crissy. You're a great mom. Take the time right now to focus on your children. Focus on them right now. Yeah, I promise you, if you put all your energies into them, and you say you're trying to work on your little business on and stuff and your YouTube channel, you're doing a great job with your YouTube channel, and you say you're working on your little businesses and stuff, focus on those things. Put your energies into those things. And once you go to putting your energies into all that and focusing on your children, child, you won't have time to think about loneliness. Because once I made the decision and I started focusing on my kids, I started focusing on getting me together, going to school, getting myself together spiritually, trying to serve God and focus on and put my energies into other areas and working on me. Once I started doing that, I ain't really had time to be lonely. And then I got to a place to where I started enjoying my own company. But you got to get to that and you got to know your worth. Please don't let these guys use you. Don't let them use you. It's not worth it. And right now, we got a deadly virus going around. You don't want to expose you or your children to the coronavirus. A lot of these guys running around here with herpes, AIDS. No, thank you. You can keep your corona, AIDS infested penis to yourself. That's where I stand right now. Okay? Uh, no, thank you. Keep it. Okay? Some of these men might have the virus and the herpes and the AIDS and everything else, lady. You got to be careful out here. Because an AIDS is something that can take you out in 10 years. Your babies need you. And that's something that I thought about, and that was one of the determining factors that I made to chose to when I chose to abstain. I said, if I get a disease, if I get AIDS, it's gonna take me away from here. I said, I don't want to be, I don't want to be gone away from my sons in 10 years. They need me. And so that's what you have to think about, lady. Your children need you. They need you. You all that they have. Realistically, you all that they have, and they need you. So you got to take care of you. You have to take care of you. And you got to make wiser decisions. I get it that you're lonely. But I promise you, if you focus on your children and getting you and doing what you're doing, I would highly recommend that you draw close to Jehovah, get a closer relationship with Him, and pray and ask Him, turn your life over to Him. It's just like I was thinking about my job situation the other day because I feel like I want to make a change, but I'm trapped because of this corona situation. It's going to be hard to get another job because of the corona situation. So I said, I talked to God like like He's sitting right next to me. And I'm like, Jehovah, what should I do? Tell me what to do. I was like, Jehovah, what should I do? Because it's getting to the place to where this job is getting physically harder for me to do. So I'm needing to change fields anyway. But at this point, I'm trapped because it's hard because of the virus. This virus it's hard to go anywhere. So I said last night, I said, Jehovah, what should I do? And so that's you seek God and you pray and you talk to Him and ask Him what you He thinks that you should do. And He will give you direction. God will give you He will give you direction. He will lead you in the right direction. But you got to give it to Him. You got to turn your life over to Him. And once you do that, then He will lead you in the right direction. He will help you make the right decisions. He will help you make wise decisions. He will help you open up. You meet somebody, He will help you open up your eyes and see right through them and find out right off the bat what they all about. He will give you discernment. He will give you all that because that's what He did for me. That's what I highly recommend, lady. Okay, I don't want this video to go on too long, but yes, that's my advice to you, Strong Mommy Crissy. A lot more that I like to cover, but that's basically the basic gist that I wanted to go into. You gotta be careful, lady. Got to be careful. Okay, if you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I need you guys to like this video and share it. Um, Stay tuned. I got some more interesting video topics coming up. I got to get in this house because I'm burning up. Peace and love. This is Sweet Jen.